Some things are really easy, and yet doing these easy things does not necessarily guarantee the experience of ease. Now, I was almost 50 when I made my first biryani in 2020. And I swear to you, if it were not for COVID, to this very day, I probably would not have made a biryani. If you come from my cultural background, you would have made your first biryani by the time you're in your late teens. And yet, I've always resisted making biryani. And you know what? When I got down to it, making the biryani was quite easy. It was quite literally a paint by numbers kind of assembly to real incredible deliciousness. And yet the resistance that I experienced was real. There was a story, and I don't even know what the exact words of the story has been all these years. But there was a story somewhere in the back of my mind that making biryani is complicated, that only really accomplished cooks who know what they're doing can do it properly. I had another story that if it doesn't come out like Auntie so and so's biryani, then it's not good enough. And I was really convinced that I'd make an absolute mess of things. And so I avoided it, quite literally for decades. And even after making biryani for the first few times, the resistance lingered. I thought that getting it right was a fluke. And the thing I want to share with you is that this resistance that I was experiencing and typically experience, it's not about the task. It's about the stories we tell ourselves. And I call these stories corrosion stories. They're the quiet stories that just erode our willingness to begin. And it can play out in any aspect of our lives. By contrast, ease has got very little to do with things being easy. Ease is an emotional experience in which there is a lack of resistance. There might be apprehension, there might be caution, but there isn't resistance. Ease comes from alignment, from simply accepting that the next step is the next step. And we're not arguing with the next step. We're also not prophesying how things are going to turn out at the end of all of the various steps. We're really only taking the next step without arguing with it. And so we loosen our grip on the stories that insist that whatever we are doing must be harder, it must be messier, it must be riskier than we can handle, that things have to turn out perfectly. And here's the thing that I've learned over time. Alignment does not make things easy. Yes, there's ease, but you can still approach things with and experience great difficulty doing it. But the ease comes from the fact that there is no self-conflict in play. There is willingness in play. There is an openness to trust in play. There's a willingness to surrender to what arises. And there is a faith that things will be okay, that you will learn what you will learn, and you will get what you get to serve you in the bigger picture. And so I have found in my own experience that this experience of things being easeful and not necessarily easy, being really true of the work that comes from the heart. It's not always easy, but once embraced, it is so easeful. And we're not talking about the ease of a checked off to-do list. We're talking about the ease of boulders and barriers shifting between who you've been and who you're potentially postponing becoming. With each moment of ease and willingness, we welcome more self-expression, more aliveness, more self-fullness, and the quiet relief of knowing that we've not betrayed ourselves. I just want to end off and say that I make a pretty mean biryani. And I think that all the elders and all the auntie so-and-sos would be really, really proud.